Shane, hello from England. Hi from England. Nice to meet you. Hi, darling. Please go like and sub. Thank you so much. He lives in me. He lives in you. In a different now. Mm. Into the water. Mm. Into the. He lives in you. He lives in me. He watches over everything you see. Pretty. Thank you so much, Lola. You're gorgeous, Lola. You're so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Zoe. Zoe, you're gorgeous. He lives in you. Please, guys, let's like and subscribe. Thank you so much. And drop your names on the comment section. Let me give you a shout out. I'm sorry the caption is not there because I don't know how to do it. Yeah, please drop your name on the comment section. I will give you a shout out. Trust me. He lives in you. Do you know I am not Zoe? I am a famous artist. Try guess who I am. Artist, which country? Yeah, yeah, which of the countries? Because that is where I can start guessing. Let's break it down. It's a big word, and the whole world is watching. England, artists in England. It's all those old artists that I know. I don't know. It's all those old artists like 50s, 60s. Those beautiful songs, beautiful lyrics. Yeah. So those are the music I know. I don't know this recent one. I think Beyonce is from America. I don't know. Is Rihanna from America? England. Which artists do we have in England? I mean, popular artists. Yeah, 60s. I love music in the 60s, probably because I care for the elderly. So I hear more of that. And I dance to it. Very interesting. Let's go. Can you, okay, you want to tell me your real name? Yeah, tell me, because you're the first person here. A big shout out to you. Shout out to Shona. I'm sorry, I can't guess. Can you please tell me? Sorry, I am a famous artist in America. Oh, you're making everything difficult now from England to America. I don't think I know anyone in America. I broke my, oh, sorry, darling. A big shout out to Maxwell. Shout out to Chrissy. Shout out to Marcia. Shout out to Maya. Is it Maya? You wrote Marcia. Shout out to Reed. Kiki, I broke my legs. Oh, sorry, Robert. So sorry. Take good care of yourself. Sorry for that. A big shout out to Olivia. A big shout out to Waylon. Shout out to Mark Stanchovic. Wow. Please, guys, let's go like and subscribe. A big shout out to Jojo. Shout out to Alison. Thank you so much, gorgeous Sandra. A big shout out to Jasmine. A big shout out to Hannah. Guys, let's go like and can we take the like up to 10? I had to restart the live. I'm sorry. It was glitching and there was no one on the stream. So I had to end and start again. It is what it is. A big shout out to Georgie. Shout out to Yusra. A big shout out to Kaylee. Your birthday tomorrow. Oh, we're gonna dance. Happy birthday. When you come here tomorrow, I'll sing for you. A big shout out to Iconic Gelly Clock It. A big shout out to Lakin. A big shout out to La Marsha. A big shout out to Isabel. Shout out to Georgie Limbomirov. Shout out to Fran. A big shout out to Rosie. Shout out to Lola. Shout out to Roslyn. Shout out to Fran. A big shout out to Mayo. Shout out to Angelina. Hello, watch. A big shout out to Alexia. A big shout out to Malak. Shout out to Serena. A big shout out to Matron. A big shout out to Violet. A big shout out to Lakely. A big shout out to Faith. A big shout out to Isabel. A big shout out to Hannah. A big shout out to Tiana. A big shout out to Chloe. A big shout out to Aaron. Please put down your name. A big shout out to Kaya. Kaya Arisin. Clocky. Please put down your names on the comment section. Can we take the like up to 15? A big shout out to Bella. A big shout out to Cynthia. Shout out to Liberty. Shout out to Molly. Shout out to Cynthia. Shout out to Darcy. Shout out to Alfie. A big shout out to Fatma. Shout out to Danny. Shout out to Ima. Shout out to Rose. Shout out to Matthew. Shout out to Anna. Shout out to Addison. Shout out to September. Shout out to Darcy. Darcy, thanks for subbing. Thank you so much. Thank you super much. Thanks to all my subscribers for subscribing. Thank you super much. Thank you, Salma. Thank you, Emilia. A big shout out to Renina. Shout out to Elena and Rihina. A big shout out to Bethan. Shout out to Delila. Shout out to Molly. Shout out to Breeze. Shout out to Lulu. Shout out to Hair. Shout out to Samson. Shout out to Alison. A big shout out to Celine. Shout out to Sarah. Shout out to Ezekiel. Can you braid? Yeah, I can braid. Shout out to Everton. Shout out to Paige. A big shout out to Maddie. Shout out to Ezekiel. Shout out to Laura. Shout out to Savannah. Guys, let's go like. Let's take the like up. Let's like and sub. Then put down your name on the comment section. Please, let's go, 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 go. Let's like and subscribe. Just 2 seconds. Let's go, 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 go. 1, 2. A big shout out to Kimaya. Shout out to Darcy May. Yes, I can braid hair. Yeah, I can even do my own hair. So, a big shout out to Lulu. I think the saying said, a saying goes that if you can braid your hair, it means you're a wizard. I'm not a wizard. Yeah, it's just a talent. Yeah, something that you like doing. So, a big shout out to Dominic. Clock it. Shout out to Kiki. Shout out to Really. Shout out to Julie. A big shout out to Nasima. A big shout out to, please put down your name on the comment section. I will give you a shout out. Let's go, 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 go. Let's go put your name on the comment section. Clock it. A big shout out to Hala. Shout out to Janessa. Shout out to Jackson. A big shout out to Jinsa. A big shout out to Heat. A big shout out to Doob Jackson. A big shout out to Caroline. A big shout out to Princess. Hi, Princess. Hope you're good. How are you, Princess? A big shout out to guys. Let's go like and subscribe. A big shout out to Lynn Sanders. Shout out to Ezekiel. A big shout out to Diana. A big shout out to Hidi. A big shout out to AKC. A big shout out to Ezekiel. A big shout out to Ashley. Asheline. A big shout out to Wine. A big shout out to Hair. Hello, Guampan Saludos de Mexico. All the way from Mexico, I salute you. Nice to meet you. Duampan, Saludo, UK, the UK. A big shout out to Daniel. Please go like and subscribe. A big shout out to Alana. A big shout out to Pasting. Shout out to Daniel. Shout out to Trinity. A big shout out to Adam. Shout out to Arisa. Shout out to Maria. Guys, put your name on the comment section back to back, back to back. Oh, thank you for liking and for subscribing. Yeah, I love you. Thank you. Please put your name on the comment section. I give you a shout out. Don't forget to like. Let's take the like up to 45. Can we take the like up to 45? And please let's subscribe. Shout out to BB. Shout out to Udeka Zidanka. A big shout out to Asha. I sub and like. Oh, thank you for liking and subbing. A big shout out to Kami. A big shout out to Rebecca. Shout out to Martin. Shout out to Dasha. Shout out to Paige. A big shout out to Mariam. Shout out to Iona. Shout out to Julie's. Shout out to Tindra. A big shout out to Mani. A big shout out to Tamara. A big shout out to Viviana. Shout out to Grace. A big shout out to Mali. A big shout out to Blair. A big shout out to Lucretia. Lucretia, thank you for subbing. Shout out to Juju or Jojo. A big shout out to Onaleron. Shout out to Janet. A big shout out to Lee. A big shout out to Perry. Shout out to Jaina. Shout out to Grace. A big shout out to Paradise. I sub. A big shout out to Jane Paul. Thank you for subbing. Aww. Jane Paul, thank you for subscribing. Thank you so much. A big shout out to Scarlett. Shout out to Delilah. A big shout out to Soma. Shout out to Onaleron. Shout out to Annie Krishna. Shout out to Zalia. Shout out to Kansadra. A big shout out to Zaina. Shout out to Lee. Guys, can we take the like up to 55? Oh, thank you so much for the like. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I didn't even know it was going up. Please, let's take it to 55. And please don't forget to subscribe. A big shout out to Aaron. I apologize. Why are you apologizing? What's the matter? A big shout out to Thor. A big shout out to Ima. A big shout out to Rian. Shout out to Aaron. A big shout out to Tarun and Sanja. Shout out to Makenly. A big shout out to Ruby. So you make me feel like say something they happen. A big shout out to Elise. Hi Elise. Oh, thank you for that lovely comment. A big shout out to Aaron. Shout out to Gavin. Shout out to Uria. Let me make you scream like that. And in not day, nothing to write. Now the other one I did.
Which one?
The other phone. Now you get colon where you will say write out.
You dey fear Kiki. I give her my phone.
You need to end and then. A big shout out to Saka. You end it.
Asaka.
A big shout out to Sophia. Shout out to Soma. A big shout out to Haley. A big shout out to Joanna. A big shout out to Aaron. A big shout out to Mira.
Subscriber.
A big shout out to Joanna. How many?
Subscriber.
A big shout out to Cassin. A big shout out to Jessica. Shout out to Caddy. Shout out to Start. A big shout out to Victoria. Big shout out to Cora. Big shout out to JC. A big shout out to Saka. A big shout out to Amelia. A big shout out to Team. Oh, Team, thank you so much, Team, for subscribing. Guys, can we take the like up to 65? Oh, the like is really going up. Thank you so much. Thank you. I beg. A big shout out to Olivia. A big shout out to Festy. Please, let's go like and sub, guys. Let's go, let's go. A big shout out to Kingsley. A big shout out to Zanya. Let's go, guys. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go like and sub. A big shout out to Penny. A big shout out to Amelia. A big shout out to Ivy. A big shout out to Dominic. A big shout out to Lottie. A big shout out to Mata. A big shout out to Mali. A big shout out to Paige. A big shout out to Haria. A big shout out to Tindra. A big shout out to Nita. A big shout out to Rosti. Guys, let's take the like up to 75. What did they say they happen? What did they say they happen?
We'll talk later.
A big shout out to Kali. A big shout out to Red.
If anything, the Alex will come in now.
I just tired. Try me you call Alex now. Try me you call Alex when you know how far. A big shout out to Happiness. A big shout out to Rayan. A big shout out to Jay. I love you too, Clock It. A big shout out to Emily. A big shout out to Future. A big shout out to Linda. A big shout out to Clara. A big shout out to Sheila. A big shout out to Leo. A big shout out to Destiny. A big shout out to Bethany. Big shout out to Eyes. Guys, let's go like and sub. I love you all. Thank you so much. Let's go like and subscribe. A big shout out to Ashita. A big shout out to Adi. A big shout out to Carlos. A big shout out to Oma. A big shout out to Alison. A big shout out to Kima. Big shout out to Tatiana. A big shout out to Blessing. Guys, can we take the like up to 80? Please, let's take the like up to 80 and please let's sub. Let's like and subscribe. Then put your name on the comment section. Let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Put your name down in the comment section. You're so pretty. Oh, thank you so much, gorgeous. You are so slay. Thank you, guys. You all are gorgeous and you have pretty names. Trust me. Please, let's go like and subscribe. Let's go like and sub. Thank you. Yeah. 2 seconds. Yeah, 2 seconds. Let's like and sub. Thank you, gorgeous. A big shout out to Backlane. A big shout out to Matty. A big shout out to Allison. Big shout out to Mother. Shout out to Hellies. Big shout out to Allison. A big shout out to Reggie. Big shout out to Adi Malik. Abdul Malik. Big shout out to and Hipen. Big shout out to Anaya. Big shout out to Mati. Big shout out to Ariel. Big shout out to Larissa. A big shout out to Cassandra. Big shout out to Hammy Winhouse. Big shout out to Brianna. Big shout out to Lucy. Big shout out to Cora. Big shout out to Beetroot. A big shout out to Luigi. Big shout out to Charles. Big shout out to Luna. Big shout out to Isabel. A big shout out to Kotia. A big shout out to Gabby. A big shout out to Lena. Guys, let's take the like up to 90 and please let's subscribe. Let's take the like up to 90 and please let's subscribe. Thank you, guys. 2 seconds. Yeah, just 2 seconds is done. Click on the like button. Click on the subscribe button. Yeah, it's done. 2 seconds is done. In fact, lesser. A big shout out to Bianca Mugaoshinga. Shout out to Daniel. A big shout out to Ki Maya. A big shout out to Felix. A big shout out to Lexi. A big shout out to Brenda. Thank you so much. A big shout out to Cassie. A big shout out to Robert. A big shout out to Hayden. A big shout out to Ara. A big shout out to Natalie. A big shout out to Natalie. Shout out to Ruby. A big shout out to Rona. A big shout out to Danielle. A big shout out to Jasmine. A big shout out to Steven. A big shout out to Peel. A big shout out to Briona. A big shout out to Kendra. A big shout out to Lan. A big shout out to Mali. Big shout out to Rachel. Big shout out to Hyunjin. Big shout out to Rati Matesy. Big shout out to Habi. Big shout out to Keira. Big shout out to Livy. Guys, please let's take the like up to 100 and please let's subscribe. Let's like and sub. Please put your name on the comment section. I have subscribed. Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for subscribing. Thank you. A big shout out to Sharon. Please, just 1 second. You have done it. Your like and sub is done. Okay? Just 2 seconds is done. And come back on this comment section. Put your name on the comments back to back. Oh, thank you so much for the 100 likes. Oh, I love you all. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Please now put your name on the comment section. Let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go back to back. A big shout out to Sharon. A big shout out to Isaiah. Big shout out to Shangbeam. Big shout out to David. I'd subscribe. Oh, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you. Big shout out to Nan. Big shout out to Pepsi. Big shout out to Casey. Big shout out to Caleb. Big shout out to Clinton. Big shout out to Libby. Big shout out to Ariana. Big shout out to Liba. Big shout out to Tenant. Big shout out to Spencer. Big shout out to Kara. Big shout out to Baila. Big shout out to Libby. Big shout out to Judith. A big shout out to Milena. Big shout out to Leo. Big shout out to Violet. Big shout out to Rosie. Big shout out to Baila. Big shout out to Lena. Big shout out to Amira. Big shout out to Casey. Big shout out to Sloan. Big shout out to Case. Guys, please let's go like and subscribe. Thank you all. The like is going up. Thank you. Thank you for liking. Thank you so much for subscribing. Please drop your names on the comment section back to back and I'll give you a shout out. Trust me. A big shout out to Hadel. Big shout out to Shania. Big shout out to Oliva. Big shout out to Sadi. Big shout out to Angeza. Big shout out to Evelyn. Big shout out to Maron. A big shout out to Darcy Aris. A big shout out to Miran. A big shout out to Anushka. A big shout out to Dahlia. A big shower to Dennis. A big shower to Jadia. A big shower to Johnny. Please, can we take the like up? Please, let's take the like up and let's subscribe. Can we like and sub? Guys, let's go like and sub. Thank you. A big shower to Romeo Aries. Shower to Rome. A big shower to Aria. Big shower to Hamad. Big shower to Harry. Big shower to Chloe. Big shower to Adeline. Big shower to Ahmed. Big shout to Rabia. Big shout to Zion. Big shout to Lean. Big shout to Ade. Big shout to Zago. Big shout to Adi. Big shout to Marvel. Big shout to Norm. Yeah, guys, please let's go like and subscribe. Guys, let's go like and sub. Yeah, let's go like and sub. Thank you. And put your names on the comment section. Can we take the like up? And please let's subscribe. Let's go. A big shout out to Edward. Big shout out to Kiki. Big shout out to Rayleigh. Big shout out to Rainy Asris. Big shout out to Gracie. Is this the real channel? Addison. Yeah, that is the backup channel, Addison. A big shout out to Maya. Big shout out to Dustin. Big shout out to Eshal. Big shout out to Zainab. Big shout out to Maximus. Big shout out to Miami. Big shout out to Angelina. Big shout out to Italy. Big shout out to Dominic. Big shout out to Austin. Big shout out to Wendy. Big shout out to Lexi. Big shout out to Mr. Mango. Big shout out to Diamond. Please let's go like and subscribe. Can we take the like up? Let's take the like up. Big shout out to Anika. Big shout out to Muhammad. Please let's like and subscribe. Let's subscribe. Big shout out to Danielle. Big shout out to Emo Sailor. Big shout out to 11. Big shout out to Lindia. Big shout out to Mika. Big shout out to Jonathan. Big shout out to Mata. Big shout out to Lassie. Big shout out to Zoe. Big shout out to Jack. Big shout out to Maximus. Big shout out to Steve. Big shout out to George. Big shout out to Isaac. Big shout out to Gracie. Big shout out to Kindness. Big shout out to Alena. Can we take the like up to 150? Please, let's take the like up to 150. And please, let's subscribe. Jera, please turn on the light. Big shout out to Ima. Big shout out to Adi. Big shout out to Jonathan Byers. Big shout out to Lexus. Big shout out to Paris. Big shout out to Olive. Big shout out to Genevieve. Big shout out to Lennox. Big shout out to Jackson. Big shout out to Vania. Big shout out to Sophia. Big shout out to Amal. Big shout out to Javana. Big shout out to Kata. Big shout out to B. Big shout out to Ayush. Big shout out to Juice. Big shout out to Professor Big Noob. Big shout out to Lucas. Big shout out to Kingsley. Big shout out to Clan. Big shout out to Olivia. Guys, please let's take the like up, please. Let's take the like to 160 and please let's subscribe. Let's like and sub. Yeah, just 2 seconds is done. You click, pam, 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 it's done. Yeah, it's done. Thank you so much. Yeah, I want to deeply appreciate those that have been, that have subscribed. I want to appreciate you, and those that have liked, I want to say thank you so much. And you've been encouraging me, supporting me for a very long time. I love you all. Thank you. Big shout out to Kian. Big shout out to Massey. Big shout out to Rahul. Big shout out to Alena. Big shout out to Luca. Big shout out to Hind. Big shout out to Rosie. Big shout out to JD. Big shout out to Divine. Big shout out to Reggie. Big shout out to Ivan. Big shout out to Baya. Big shout out to Linton. Big shout out to Olivia. Big shout out to Fatima. Big shout out to Chadla. Big shout out to Angel. Big shout out to Michael Obama. Big shout out to Kian. Big shout out to Makena. Big shout out to Vivian. Big shout out to Massin. Big shout out to Colin. Big shout out to Sadie. Big shout out to Javon DeMarcos. Big shout out to Jaisley. Big shout out to Eslim. Big shout out to Sujimi. Big shout out to Zainab. Big shout out to London. Big shout out to Oshin. Big shout out to Lily. Big shout out to Vladimir. Guys, let's go like and subscribe. Let's go like and sub. Thank you. Yeah, guys, let's go like and subscribe. Let's go. 2 seconds, you like and you sub is done. And put your name on the comment section back to back. Let's go. Yeah, put your name on the comment section. Please, if I've not called you, be patient with me. Yeah, please be patient with me. Put your name on the comment section. Let's go. Yeah, drop your name. I give you a shout. Drop your names. I give you a shout out. A big shout out to Walk. A big shout out to Evie. Shout out to Jasmine. A big shout out to Kian. A big shout out to Julia. A big shout out to Alena. Shout out to Davian. Shout out to Rosie. Shout out to Mata. Shout out to Raisa. Shout out to Gracie. Shout out to Corbin. Shout out to Victoria. A big shout out to Mary. A big shout out to Rosie. A big shout out to Serenity. A big shout out to Vortex. A big shout out to Esme. A big shout out to Isyana. A big shout out to Ramos. A big shout out to Renia. A big shout out to Alexander. Good evening, Joseph. A big shout out to Amy. A big shout out to File. A big shout out to Kinsey. A big shout out to Easy. A big shout out to Kinsey. A big shout out to Rabbit. I just saw Rabbit. A big shout out to Elena. A big shout out to Tashai. Tassie. A big shout out to Elena. A big shout out to Joy. Shout out to Reggie. Shout out to Bill. A big shout out to Grace. A big shout out to Chandwell. Big shout out to Trinity. Big shout out to Jessica. Big shout out to Bailey. Big shout out to Rika. Oh, big shout out to Ella. You sub. Thank you so much, Ella, for subscribing. Thank you. Oh, thank you guys for subscribing. Yeah, I want to appreciate those that have liked and subscribed. Thank you so much. I do appreciate. Big shout out to Shadrach. Big shout out to London. Big shout out to Mayuri. Big shout out to Naro. Long time no see. Where have you been hiding? Big shout out to Jazabella. Big shout out to Ena. Big shout out to Sarah. Big shout out to Mary. Big shout out to Tyler. Big shout out to Tigami, TGG Games. Big shout out to Ashikwa. Big shout out to Edna. Big shout out to Sophie. Big shout out to Apostle Paul in the Bible. Big shout out to Michael. Big shout out to Ania. Big shout out to Leon. Guys, let's go like and subscribe. Thank you. Yeah, can we go like and subscribe? Yeah, guys, please, let's go like and subscribe. Let's go, let's go. Big shout out to Ania. Big shout out to Lelo. Big shout out to Water. Big shout out to Polly. Big shout out to Glendy. Big shout out to Juliana. Big shout out to Nora. Big shout out to Sophie. Big shout out to Gabriel. Big shout out to Peter. Big shower to Major. Big shower to Angel. Big shower to Ahidia. Big shower to Painting. Big shower to Meshach. Big shower to Deez. Big shower to Mika. Big shower to Rian. Big shower to Creed. Big shower to Lind. Big shower to Samaya. Big shower to Vega. Big shower to Rika. Big shout out to John. Big shout out to Sri Santa Moons. Big shout out to Indra. Big shout out to Finley. Big shout out to CJ. Big shout out to Lynn. Big shout out to Dia. Big shout out to Lucy. Big shout out to NASA. Big shout out to Tony. Big shout out to No Jane. Yeah, guys, please let's go like and subscribe. Can we take the thank you so much for the likes. Yeah, thank you. We are in 200 likes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Please let's go like and sub. Thank you. I didn't even know we've gone that far. You guys are amazing. I love you all. I didn't know we've reached 200. I didn't know. Thank you so much. Please let's like and also sub. Thank you so much. You all are amazing. Wow. I didn't even see it. I was busy calling names. Yeah, I'm happy about it. Thank you so much. Please like and sub as well. Can we go subscribe? Yeah, just 1 second is done. And please put your names on the comment section, please. Please don't stop. Don't stop. Let's go. Yeah, let's like and sub. Let's like and sub. Just 1 second is done. Thank you. It won't cost anything. As it's not costing me anything to give out shout out. So it won't cost you anything to subscribe. Thank you, guys. Let's go. Please put down your names. A big shout out to Happiness. A big shout out to Joseph. A big shout out to John. A big shout out to Alina. Wow, the like is still going very fast. Oh, thank you. A big shout out to Mahatma Danji. A big shout out to Monday. A big shout out to Rome. A big shout out to Amber. A big shout out to Jasmine. A big shout out to Lilo. Big shout out to Toby. Big shout out to Sophie. Big shout out to Echo. Big shout out to Charlie. Big shout out to Sawyer. Big shout out to Danielle. Big shout out to Bella. Big shout out to Sophia. Big shout out to Soma. Big shout out to Falave. Big shout out to Bella. Big shout out to Angel. Big shout out to Arison. Big shout out to Valentina. Big shout out to Liam. Big shout out to Armani. Big shout out to Truly. Big shout out to Haley. Big shout out to Bethan. Big shout out to Oliva. Big shout out to Erin. Big shout out to Job. Big shout out to Mangi. Big shout out to Billy. Big shout out to John. Big shout out to Kaja. Big shout out to Lucy. Big shout out to Happiness. Big shout out to Lucas. Thank you for thanking me. You're welcome for thanking me. You're welcome. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Yeah, the like is moving very fast. That's why I'm not saying like and sub. Yeah, the like is moving fast. Thank you so much. I'll just concentrate on the shout out. No need of saying like and sub because it's really moving very fast and I do appreciate. Okay, let's go. Big shout out to Prince William. Big shout out to Leela. Yeah, the like is moving very fast. You can see it for yourself. So I don't need to say like and sub, like and sub. No wasting time. Let's just give, the shout out. A big shout out to Sharon. Congratulations, Jane. A big shout out to Adeline. Big shout out to Aidan. Big shout out to Ava. Big shout out to Angelos. Big shout out to Livia. Big shout out to Sharon. Big shout out to Alicia. Wow, you guys' names are beautiful. Guys, you have pretty names, man. Including the long ones, like very pretty. So I don't need to worry. When I want to name my kids, I'll just come to this channel and pick one or 10 names just for one child. Yeah, probably I'll start giving them these names, 10 names. A big shout out to Liam. A big shout out to Hannah. A big shout out to Purified. A big shout out to Mali. Yes, Soya. Sorry, Soya, you're right. But Davify is also like a backup page, okay? So you don't need to worry. It's me. A big shout out to Vivina. A big shout out to Hami. Shout out to Rue. Shout out to Goku. A big shout out to Poppy. Yeah, put down your name. You have a shout out, sure. Yeah, just put down your name. Okay? A big shout out to Olivia. A big shout out to your nan. A big shout out to Inas. Big shout out to Leela. A big shout out to Clean. A big shout out to Joycelyn. A big shout out to Austin. A big shout out to Dean. A big shout out to Devine. A big shout out to Guyana. A big shout out to Andre. I love you too, Dennis. Thank you so much. Big shout out to Pauline. Big shout out to Violet. Big shout out to Level. Big shout out to Tyler. Big shout out to White. Big shout out to Phoebe. Big shout out to Angelos. Big shower to Patricia. Big shower to Lani. Big shower to Vegeta. Big shower to Kate. Big shower to Lulu. Big shower to James. Big shower to Massey. Big shower to Alina. Big shower to Jake. Big shower to Oven. Big shower to Dominic. Big shower to Cassian. Big shower to Praise. Guys, let's go like and sub. Thank you. I think the like has stopped moving. So please let's go like and subscribe. Thank you. Yeah, 2 seconds is done. Like and sub and put your name on the comment section, please. Please, your name. A big shout out to Reina. Yeah, please like and subscribe. And please, your name on the comment section back to back. I love you all. A big shout out to Alice. Yeah, big shout out to Skyros. Big shout out to Shania. Big shout out to Tiki. Big shout out to Joe. Big shout out to Philip. Big shout out to Rebecca. Big shout out to Sarah. Big shout out to Good. Big shout out to Amber. Big shout out to Spider Fofo. Big shout out to Valentina. Big shout out to Liana. Big shout out to Mila. Big shout out to Hash. Big shout out to Ellie Frost. Big shout out to Brody. Big shout out to Graphene. Big shout out to Noah. Big shout out to Charlie. Big shout out to Naila. Big shout out to Dodge. Big shout out to Maria Donna. Big shout out to Amy. Big shout out to EDD. Big shout out to Ima. Big shout out to Stacy. Big shout out to Olivia. Big shout out to Jack. Big shout out to Michaela. Big shout out to Amelia. Big shout out to Martha. Big shout out to Jaden. Big shout out to Amari. Big shout out to Keep Shinshin. Big shout out to Anas. Big shout out to Jacob. Big shout out to Tundo. Big shout out to Teresa. Big shout out to Lizzie. Big shout out to Sammy. Big shout out to Rayleigh. Big shout out to Chloe. Big shout out to Afa. Big shout out to Lee. Big shout out to Wabi. Big shout out to Safa. Big shout out to Amy. I love you too. Thank you. Oh, the likes has gone so far. Oh my days, I didn't even know it has gone that far. I was thinking it's 250. Thank you so much for the like. Thank you guys. I love you. Please let's go like and subscribe, okay? Yeah, please let's like and subscribe. Just a click is done. And please put your name on the comment section back to back. Apologies for not calling your name yet, but just be patient. I'll call your name. Just keep putting your name out there. Okay? Big shout out to Essie. Please let's like and sub. Oh, thank you for 300 likes, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for subscribing. I love you all. Thank you so much. Yeah, honestly. Big shout out to Easy. Big shout out to Mawa. Big shout out to Ethan. Big shout out to Ruth. Big shout out to Victoria. Big shout out to Jalason. Big shout out to Lynn. Big shout out to Lutz. Big shout out to Evan. Big shout out to George. Big shout out to Marie. Big shout out to Sophia. Big shout out to Sarah. Big shout out to Sammy. Big shout out to Good. Big shout out to Karina. Big shout out to Rosia. Rosea. Big shout out to Damarion. Big shout out to Hope. Big shout out to Linhan. Big shout out to Emily. Big shout out to Crown. Big shout out to Amy. Big shout out to Nora. Big shout out to Daros. Big shout out to Jalaya. Big shout out to Kalela. Big shout out to Johnny. Big shout out to Mike. Big shout out to Mali. Big shout out to Wallop. Big shout out to Kirsten. Big shout out to Feed. Big shout out to your lovely mommy Lily. Big shout out to your sister Jasha. Big shout out to Batloman. I love you too, guys. I love you. A big shout out to Drew. Big shout out to Eva and Hava. Big shout out to Amira. Big shout out to Lee. Big shout out to Jacoby. Big shout out to Nata. Big shout out to Naya. Big shout out to Remy. Big shout out to Alexander. Big shout out to Agrum. Big shout out to Anna. Big shout out to Jabe. Big shout out to Brainley. Big shout out to Agrum. Big shout out to JK. Big shout out to Epstein. Big shout out to Lulu. Big shout out to Lily. Big shout out to Agru, your sister. Guys, please, let's go like and subscribe, please. Let's go, let's go. Yeah, guys, let's go like and sub. Thank you so much. A big shout out to Kayla. A big shout out to Melania. Big shout out to Pearl. Big shout out to Melania. Big shout out to Johnny. Big shout out to Adriana. Big shout out to Kenga. Big shout out to Chris. Big shout out to Claire and Sam. Big shout out to Kobe. Big shout out to Jenny May Louise. Big shout out to Sky. Big shout out to Ali. Big shout out to Zara. Big shout out to Land. Please, let's go like and subscribe. Thank you. Zara, thank you for subscribing, Zara. Big shout out to Christopher. Big shout out to Hope. Big shout out to Jeffrey. Big shout out to Sloan. Big shout out to Audrey. Big shout out to Zoe. Zoe, no worries. It's me, okay? Big shout out to Blair. Big shout out to Gawain. Zoe, please go like and sub. Big shout out to Hair. Big shout out to Harry. Big shout out to Rosie. Big shout out to Danielle. Big shout out to Lani. I love you too, thank you. Big shout out to Sky. Big shout out to Laini. Big shout out to Irina. Big shout out to Cupcake. Big shout out to Pesley. I love you too, thank you. Big shout out to Skylar. Big shout out to Crown. Gerard, you want for this thing? Come on your leg now. Big shout out to Coke. Big shout out to Amel. Big shout out to Caroline. Big shout out to Reagan. Big shout out to Lion. Please say big shout out to Agum. Thank you, Agum. You like and subscribe. Thank you so much. Thank you for liking and for subscribing. Thank you so much. Big shout out to Aisha. Big shout out to Faith. Big shout out to Paisley. Big shout out to Jody. Big shout out to Nico. Big shout out to Kaden. Big shout out to Malia. Big shout out to Epstein. Big shout out to Bella. Big shout out to Nico. Big shout out to Tristan. Big shout out to Lo. Big shout out to Millie. Big shout out to Zainab. It's your birthday today, Millie. I'll put down your name. Big shout out to Jordan. Big shout out to Reagan. Big shout out to Emmett. Big shout out to Pringles. Big shout out to Serenity. Big shout out to Liana. Big shout out to Malika. Big shout out to Tina. Big shout out to Emily. Big shout out to Nora. Big shout out to Rebecca. Big shout out to Alexandra. Big shout out to Holly. Big shout out to Evie. Big shout out to Daniel. Big shout out to Ion. Big shout out to Tommy. Shout out to Kingsley. Shout out to Sarah. Shout out to Shakik. Shout out to Justin. Shout out to Quata. Shout out to Mackenzie. Shout out to Samantha. Shout out to Pintin. Shout out to Amy. Shout out to Linda. Shout out to Adriana. Shout out to Laini. Shout out to Lindia. Shout out to April. Shout out to Fran. Shout out to Kinsey. Shout out to Pert. Shout out to Lexi. Shout out to Lion. Shout out to Seal. Shout out to Kiki. Shout out to Sarah. Guys, please, let's go like and subscribe. Yeah, can we go like and sub? Let's go like and sub. Let's go like and sub. Just give me 5 seconds. I'll be back. Okay? I need to take some water. 5 seconds, please. I'll be back. I'll just mute. 5 seconds. 5 seconds. I'll be back. I want to take water. I'll just mute. Yeah, thank you so much, guys, for waiting for me. Thank you. Thank you, guys, for waiting. Thank you, thank you. Please put your name on the comment section. Yeah, let's give you a shout out. Let's go. Yeah, I'm not going, I'm here. I'm here, guys. Yeah, please put your names on the comment section. Don't forget to like and to sub. Yeah, thank you for waiting. My name, you can call me Essay or Kiki. Hi, dear, again. I did this because you are so beautiful, pretty. I love you so much. Thank you so much, Ami. Thank you. Thank you. I love you too. Thank you so much. You're gorgeous as well. You have a pretty name. Yeah, a big shout out to Mali. A big shout out to Kiri. Shout out to Nadara. Shout out to Lucy. Shout out to Azu. Shout out to Midio. Shout out to Ada. A big shout out to Louis. Shout out to Evelyn. Shout out to Wounds. Shout out to Sarah. Shout out to Relay. Shout out to Aria. Aria is back. Hi, Aria. Shout out to Vanessa. Shout out to Lucia. Please put down your name on the comment section. A big shout out to Georgia Mai. Yeah, big shout out to Molly. Shout out to Henry. Please put your names on the comment section, please. Please put down your name, guys, please. I sub. Oh, Aaron. Thank you, Aaron, for subscribing. Thank you so much. Shout out to Fatima. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Ava Grace. Hi, Niam. Shout out to Kenzie. Shout out to Haley. Shout out to Hannah. Shout out to Arlene. Shout out to Landry. Shout out to Rayleigh. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Bella. Shout out to Abby. Shout out to Jinsan and Melissa. Shout out to Henry. Hello, Henry. Please, let's go like and subscribe. Shout out to Liana. Shout out to Jesse. Shout out to Abby. Shout out to Ava Grace. Shout out to Lendiona. Shout out to Prince. Shout out to Bobo. I am a big fan. Oh, Bobo, thank you. You're a big fan. Yeah. Yeah, I know your name. Thank you so much. A big shout out to Legion. Shout out to Arlene. Shout out to Charlie's. Shout out to Mary. Shout out to Maria. Guys, let's go like and sub. Shout out to Aliyah. Yeah, Aliyah, I know your name. You are a big fan as well. Thank you so much. I know you. Big shout out to Lika. A big shout out to Karen. A big shout out to Luke. Big shout out to Joel. Shout out to Kate. Shout out to Rokaya. Shout out to Selena. Hello, Selena. Selena. You're welcome. Please go like and sub. Thank you so much. Shout out to Iona. Shout out to Connie. Shout out to Imogen. Yeah, please go like and sub. Selena, I think, yeah, I know Milo. Selena, go like and sub. A big shout out to Mackenzie. Shout out to Hind. Shout out to Linka. Shout out to Charles. Shout out to Seville. Shout out to Sky. Shout out to Selena Coma. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Isabella. Shout out to Rinkin. Shout out to Maria. Shout out to Lika. Shout out to Marita. Shout out to Lilian. Shout out to Milena. Shout out to Jack. You're stunning. Thank you so much, gorgeous. Yeah, you're stunning as well. You're looking gorgeous. Shout out to Abila. Shout out to Iona. Shout out to Alexa. Shout out to Joel. Shout out to Aliyah. Shout out to Rolling. Shout out to Shrimp. Shout out to Rosa. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Milena. Shout out to Inara. Shout out to Pablo. Shout out to Esia. Shout out to Shriya. Shout out to Kita. Shout out to Mena. Shout out to Agrin. A big shout out to Broke. Guys, please let's go like and subscribe. Thank you so much. Please let's go like and sub. A big shout out to Kita. A big shout out to Rima. A big shout out to Elos. Shout out to Aliyah. Shout out to Teresa. Yes, Pringles, you are right. A big shout out to Isley. Pringles, yeah. You can sub on this one as well. Thank you. Thank you. Big shout out to Rumaisa. Big shout out to Rayleigh. Big shout out to Jack. Big shout out to Sarah. Big shout out to Eva. Ellis, thank you so much, Ellie. Thank you. Big shout out to Camila. Hi, Daniela. Big shout out to Anita. Big shout out to 11. Big shout out to Akira. Big shout out to Wawuyo. Big shout out to Sado. Big shout out to Elena. Ami, I love you too, Ami. Big shout out to Rita. A big shout out to Ami. Big shout out to Eva. Yeah, big shout out to Elodie. Big shout out to Room. Big shout out to Malia. Guys, please, let's take the like up. The like is talk. Yeah, please, let's go like and sub. Please, 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 please. Yeah, please put down your name. I'll give you a shout out. A big shout out to Isabella. Can we take the like up? And please, let's go subscribe. Let's like and sub. Do, 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 do. Thank you so much. Please, let's go like and subscribe. Please, if you haven't liked, please, let's go like. If you haven't subscribed, please, let's go subscribe. And put your name on the comment section. A big shout out to Dolly. Big shout out to Abby. A big shout out to Noah and Hemi. Big shout out to Fran and Vince. Big shout out to Catherine. Hi, Babu. Big shout out to Babu. Babu, please go like and subscribe. Thank you. Big shout out to Vanessa. Big shout out to Bisha. Big shout out to Musa. Oh, thank you. Lily, thank you. You're welcome, Lily. Big shout out to Rurut. Big shout out to Cynthia. Big shout out to Kama. Big shout out to Isabella. Big shout out to Dora. Thank you so much. You are pretty. Thank you, gorgeous. Big shout out to Tibarios. Shout out to Sue. Shout out to Beltina. Shout out to Boaz. Shout out to Destiny. Shout out to Anam. Shout out to Star. Shout out to Nadia. Shout out to Sham. You are the best YouTuber. I watch your video every single day. Oh, thank you, Hara. Thank you so much. Guys, please let's go like and subscribe. Litia. Ni hao. Shake. Shout out to Kaylee. Shout out to Ophelia. Big shout out to Casey. Guys, let's go like and subscribe. Just 2 seconds. Yeah, please let's go. Let's go like and subscribe for 2 seconds. Then we continue. Yeah, we literally have 3 minutes to go. But I'll go live after 20 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, after 20 minutes, I'll go live again because I need to do something quickly. So I'll go off in 2 minutes time, guys. Okay. So I'll be coming back, but I'll be cooking by then. I'll be in the kitchen. So you'll see me in the kitchen. Do you want to see me in the kitchen? Who wants to see me in the kitchen? If you want to see me in the kitchen, let me see you. You want to see me in the kitchen? I'll go live when I'm in the kitchen, so you can only chat. Big shout out to Fake. Big shout out to Lola. Do you want to see me in the kitchen? Avaline. A big shout out to Sophia. Hi, Sophia. Please go like and subscribe. Isabel. Big shout out to Isabel. Please go like and subscribe. So I'll be leaving soon. A big shout out to Aya. Hi, girl. Please go like and sub. Hi, girl. Thank you. Oh, shout out to Mimi. Guys, I'll be going off. I'll be going off now. I will see you in the kitchen. Or you will see me in the kitchen. Oh, you remember me from yesterday. Nice to meet you. But I'll be leaving now. And you will see me in the kitchen. Layla, just subscribe. Layla, thank you for subscribing. Yeah. Lexi. Okay, let me sing birthday song for the celebrant before I go. Please, if today is your birthday, Lexi is your birthday. So I want to sing for the celebrant before I go. Okay, but I'll be back in like 20 minutes. But you'll see me in the kitchen. I won't be giving shout out, okay? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear James, Rob, Lexi, Remy, Millie, Chloe. Go down. Happy birthday to you. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Happy birthday. You should be singing happy birthday to my dad. Yeah, happy birthday to your dad. Okay, my regards to him. So I'll be seeing you guys I'll be seeing you guys soon. Okay. Yeah, you too. Thank you so much. Emily, thank you, Emily. Can we go like and subscribe? Can we subscribe? I'll be leaving now, but I'll be coming back shortly. Yeah, I won't take so much time. But I'll be in the kitchen anyways. I'll stream. I'll be in the kitchen. So please go subscribe so that you can, yeah. so that you will see me in the kitchen cooking. So I won't be doing shout outs. You know, I'm a mom and I need to go cook. It's time to feed the family. Happy birthday, Summer. I love you all. Thank you. Yeah, but you'd be seeing me. I'll still come back. Why are you saying no? I will still stream, but yeah, I won't be giving shout outs. Yeah, but I might just be chatting as I'm cooking. Yeah, just chat, you know. Bye. Clarky.